Yes, shout out Mile High Minute. Go follow him on everything because literally he's active on everything, so you're never missing out on anything.
Mile High Minute, #1 podcast in the universe. Today we got a very special guest. It's Stephanie. What's the word?
Hey, what's up?
I appreciate you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, this is our first interview, so I kind of want to dive into your backstory, how you became an artist, and go from there. So, originally from Colorado, or where are you from?
Yeah, I was born here in Denver.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, what about like your family? They from Colorado?
No, so my family is from Jalisco. Yeah, from a small town called La Huerta, but most people also know it as like Guadalajara and stuff. So yeah, it's in Mexico.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's dope. How did you guys end up coming over here?
So my mom originally moved here when she was 16, but not here in Colorado. She came to California
Mm,
because they needed more money. So like her dad started working out here, and then my parents were like dating in Mexico, but they never separated when she moved over here. Like so they were like dating from long distance, but pretty much like it was the same situation for my dad where like money wasn't good over there, and I guess his cousins were like, bro, let's go, like let's move over there, we need more money.
yeah.
So the plan originally for my dad was he was just going to work over here for a couple of months to get his money up, but I don't really know what made them stay, but I want to think that like my dad had my mom over here and like he loved her so much that he was like, okay, like the money's good over here, and like I have a place to stay, and like my girl's over here, so I'm assuming that's why he stayed. But then they got married, and I'm not really sure what was like the initiative why they moved to Colorado because I don't have family over here really. So I think my dad just got like an opportunity of work over here, so they just decided to move over here. And yeah, they really started from nothing. Like I don't have family over. Well, I have family now, but like back then, like they didn't have anybody over here, so it was pretty hard growing up. I was very like lonely to say because like on Facebook, you would see like all my cousins
Yeah.
feasting together, and like yeah, like everybody just had each other, and I just never had that. So
Okay. That's real. Okay, so do you like visit Mexico a lot now, or do you just stay
ever
up for
since
the
the
most part?
pandemic, we don't go as often. And then actually recently there was like a mini like earthquake over there.
Oh, okay.
And that was like the first time they've had an earthquake in a really long time. But it's just sounded like there's been a lot going on over there. And my grandma's like both of my grandmas died during COVID. So
My condolences.
yeah, thank you. But there's not it's a little more sad to go over there because, at least like my dad and my mom, like they have their parents to see, and like
Yeah.
not saying that they don't have people to see over there, but it's just like not the same. And I feel like it feels really different without having them there. But I do really miss it a lot, and like the food is good, and just like the lifestyle is so different from like over here. So it's definitely an experience, but I don't go there as much. I usually go like every December, but like every like other year to say. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Now, you said they originally moved to California?
Yeah, they originally moved to California. Yeah.
What part?
Wasco. It's
Okay.
like right next to Bakersfield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like a little north of LA or south?
It's like 3 hours away from LA. So
Okay.
yeah, I wouldn't know which direction, but yeah.
Okay. And then they moved to Colorado?
Yeah, they moved to Colorado.
Was that like right before you were born, or how did that?
Yeah, it was like literally, I think my mom was pregnant when she moved out here because literally like they got married when like my mom was 26 and I think my dad was like 30.
Mm.
And my mom had me when she was 27. So yeah, and all I know is like the house that they own right now is as old as like I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Have they always lived in like the Denver area, or did they?
so technically we live more like in Aurora,
Okay.
but yeah. I'm like I was born in Denver.
No, I feel you. Is it always been Denver though, or is there been, or I mean, Aurora, or have they lived in any other cities around?
Well, they've probably lived in like different cities, but like me personally, I've only lived like in that house my whole life. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's cool. How do you feel about Aurora?
I like it. Honestly, I think just because I grew up, like I'm just so used to it and it definitely feels like home because when I visit like other towns and stuff, it just feels so different and it feels really strange, you know? So
Right. How was like the transition for your parents? I know you didn't necessarily experience it like firsthand, but like hearing from your parents and stuff, how was the
I think it was
transition?
really hard. And even for me, it was really hard because, like I said, I was just so used to seeing everybody like have each other. And I never had that, you know? And even like, because my parents were like working, like ever since I was a little girl, like my
Mm.
parents were always working. So I was always with these like random babysitters and stuff. And I just remember like being treated like a dog because, and you know, like who knows if that was really the reality? Like, that's just what I remember, but who knows, you
Right.
know? But
Yeah.
like when I was with my babysitters, like there was like 10 other kids and like I remember if the weather was nice, like they would just leave us in the backyard and like we could only come inside if we needed like water or like we
Yeah.
needed to eat, but that was like it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's almost some like child abuse shit. For real.
Yeah, dude. I know, and I remember like I was like I would cry so much. Like I was such a crybaby, like to this day, you know, but I was such a crybaby and like I was very diva like. So yeah, I was not an easy child to take care of. And it was just so much harder because it was like with people that didn't know me, you know?
Right.
So
So with your parents working a lot, did that kind of install that work and motivation in you or
yeah, I will say, like the moment I could work, I started working and I was working full time since like
Mm.
high school. And I was like, you know, balancing both. But it's very like motivating to this day to like just keep working and to like do my best because like that's all my parents have ever done. So it's like to do any less of that would just disappoint me, you know?
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
What schools did you end up going to in
Mm.
Colorado?
I went to Cimarron first and then I changed to Sunrise. And then from there I went to Horizon and then Eagle Crest.
Horizon, one in Thornton?
No,
It's a
it's
different.
also Aurora, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Eagle Crest, they definitely got good football. I know our school played them in the state. That's
Oh,
besides the
really?
point though.
No,
Anyways,
yeah, no facts. Yeah, Eagle Crest football team is pretty good.
yeah.
So
Okay. How was the high school life, I suppose?
it was really
Like
good.
school.
Um, I think for me, I was really socially awkward and I was a big people pleaser. So I just felt like I wasn't really myself and I just lived for others, you know, and like validation from others because I was like never fully accepted for who I was.
Mm,
And I was, like I said, like I was just really socially awkward. So I didn't get along with people the way like people would get along, if that makes sense. And my parents are really strict, so I was very limited to like a lot of things. And like
mm.
literally, I remember like my first time eating sushi was like my junior year.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, like it's just like because yeah, like my parents were so set on a like form that it's like we only ate Mexican food, you know, and like maybe like fast food, but I never really tried like Chinese food besides like Panda Express and
Yeah.
like tried like so many things, you know, until like I got older and like I made those connections where I was able to experience them with like my real friends, you know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But besides that, my high school experience wasn't too grand. Like that definitely wasn't my peak. I was like at my ugliest during high school, so yeah.
Okay. Now when I talk to people, obviously like American Mexican food is probably pretty whitewashed, but like
Mhm.
I feel like Colorado is pretty known for its Mexican food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
I will say
how do you feel about the Mexican food out here?
it's really good. I will say like Aurora especially, like there's a lot of Mexicans. Like there I feel like there's a lot of diversity in general in
Right.
Aurora, like especially in Denver too, but I mean even in Thornton, you know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of fucking diversity, so
Hell yeah. You
yeah.
feel like the food out here is pretty good, or is it comparable to Mexico, or no, not really?
No, obviously like Mexico's food's gonna be really good because like
Yeah.
that's just coming from the roots, you know.
Right.
But the food here is good too. I'm a really big fan of al pastor meat,
Okay. I
so yeah.
think I've had that before.
Mhm.
What about some of like the, I guess, mainstream Mexican restaurants in Colorado, like the Chubby's, the Tamale Kitchen, Taco Star? No, not a big fan.
So actually, I have a friend. She owns because my parents are really big on like mariscos, so pretty much seafood.
Oh,
But I have a friend and her family owns a restaurant called El Rey, and they have like three different locations. Have you ever been there?
mm,
El Rey?
I don't think
No.
so.
It's really good. I recommend. But
Okay.
Yeah, like honestly, that restaurant's bomb and they have like karaoke nights and like they always have like bandas playing and stuff. So I really recommend that place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so we're talking about your life growing up and stuff like that. When did the music catch your interest, or how did that come about?
So my dad's actually like a singer, but like not like an artist, like pursuing music to say, right?
Mm,
But my dad, like growing up, has always like sang, and he has the voice of like Vicente Fernandez, in my opinion.
okay.
So he's just always been super confident about his voice. Like everybody knows him as a singer, you know. And like since I grew up by myself, the only thing I could really do was like play with myself and stuff. So I got a laptop when my mom like became a manager at her job, and I just remember like I would do like YouTube karaoke's all the time.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of how it started, you know, but it's not like I was like, oh, I want to pursue music. But recently actually, this like old friend I had in elementary school sent me like a picture of our yearbook, and like we had captions of like what we wanted to be when we grew up.
Yeah.
And I was just so astonished because I was like, oh, when I grow up I want to be a singer. And like I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
shook. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, who would have thought, you know? But when I really started taking it like serious, or like when it sparked my interest, was I had a friend that like rapped, and he asked me if he want like if I wanted to make a song with him, and I was like, well, I don't really make music, but I'm down to try, you know?
Yeah.
And I freestyled and it turned out pretty good. So then after that, I feel like I got a bit of recognition from that, and I was like, you know, maybe like I can do this music shit. So I made like a couple freestyles, and like I made a couple songs, but I didn't think much of it. Well, not really that I didn't think much of it. I just didn't have that support to like really engineer my
Invested it.
music,
Yeah.
because all I was like, especially in high school, to other people was like nobody really like believed in me in order to like make my career happen. It was just more like they just wanted a girl to feature in their song. You know,
Okay.
like
I
they were
see what
like,
you're
"Oh,
saying.
like, do you want to be in my song? Do you want to fit?" Like nobody ever wanted to help me like make my own music. So
Oh, okay. I see what you're
I got on this app called Rise randomly, and
Rise?
yeah, Rise, and it popped up as like a YouTube ad,
Okay.
and it was like supposed to like connect you to like different artists and stuff like that. So I got it for fun, and I uploaded like a 10-second clip of what I wrote for Get That.
Okay.
And from there, Wick Jones hit me up.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, so he hit me up from there, and he was like, "Hey, like I'd love to work with you. Let me know if you want to work." So I did, and yeah, now my song "Qué tal" is out, and that's fully engineered by him, and he helped me create the beat and all that. So pretty fun stuff. And then after that, I've just kept creating with him. I have yet to like work with. Well, I did work with another engineer in San Antonio, but most of my songs are done with Wick Jones.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a talented dude out here. I've heard good things about him.
Yeah, no, he's sick.
Uh, Keita. Man, excuse me if I pronounce it wrong. That's how you say it?
Yeah, no, you're saying it
Okay.
right.
That one was shot by Lincoln Bio too, right? Or is that Monet?
That was shot the video was shot by Halle Prince,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
Yeah.
Moneda was shot by Lincoln Bio.
Okay. Yeah, they're both dope videographers out here.
Yeah, they're sick.
Um, so that's kind of how you got into music. Sounds like you had some family roots within it.
Hmm.
Did your I know you said like your dad didn't necessarily pursue like a career in music, but like I guess what is his association with music? I think I watched in the Vicuals What's Good interview. Was it a mariachi band, or was that did that come later?
No, so he's not even in a mariachi band, but
Okay.
anytime there's mariachi, like, you know, they'll be like, does anybody want to sing or something?
Yeah.
And my dad will be like, yeah, like,
Okay.
I'll do it, you know, like, and he's like humble about it. Like, he's not like, get me on the mic. Like, he's like, yeah, if y'all want to sing, or like, I can sing.
Hell
And
yeah.
then he sings, and everybody's like, whoa, because like his voice is like, it's really powerful and it's really strong. And like, he can hit high vocals really good. And like, I feel like as a man, like, that's hard to do, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's very skillful in that. And yeah, he's never like pursued music, and I think there's like um this thing of like being judged, right? Because even for me, like I can tell like my whole family looks at me like this girl's crazy. You
As far as like you
like me
within music?
music, yeah,
Yeah,
like putting
right.
myself out there, they're like, this girl's crazy, like, you know, but
It's tough.
it is tough, but at the end of the day, like everything's crazy, like, you
Right.
know, so I might as well just do what I want to do than like do something I don't want to do, you know?
That's real. That's real. I respect that. Have you like had to work like a bunch of jobs or anything like that?
Yeah, so
Don't like name like where you're working at now or anything like that, but like in the past or just
uh-huh.
briefly, you know what I'm saying? Describe
Okay.
it.
Yeah, so I actually my first job was at McDonald's and I was there for like 3 years.
Okay.
And yeah, like I was there for my mom a majority of the time because it was good money, like don't get me wrong, like I built myself up, but it just like it got me to a point where I became such an angry and bitter person. Like I just wasn't happy where I was in life, and I never felt like I had time for myself.
Yeah.
And I just like there was a breaking point where I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. I don't care how much I'm getting paid. Like I need to quit this job.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did, and then it's so crazy too because like now I have like I don't know if you would call it like acting, but I do like princess characters for parties.
Oh, okay.
But I literally got that job from McDonald's because I have eyelashes.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, like you look like you like to dress up." And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah.
So, yeah, now I do that. And then I have an online shop and I
You resell stuff or you create
just
stuff?
my like closet. So it's like my thrift.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So you're a hustler.
Yeah, yeah. I love to like just do business stuff.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Self-made entrepreneur. Okay. How do you, I mean, is that tough? Like being able to, do that and have that type of mindset? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier,
Mhm.
with your parents working nonstop, but like you said, people might think you're crazy. Oh, you can't really do this, that, and the
Mhm.
third. So like how do you stay motivated to keep going through the naysayers and like keep working on your business, whether it be music and other
I
passions?
think the biggest thing is like my whole life I've just always been criticized. Like honestly, I grew up like being bullied. So it's at that
That's-
point where I'm just like, I really don't care, because I just experienced it at such a young age that
Yeah.
you get used to it and like someone's always going to say something. So yeah, I just don't feel dismotivated because like I said at the end, like I'm going to do what makes me happy. And if this makes me happy, then why should I let someone else like stop that?
That's real. Okay. So what went behind like I know you kind of described how you got into music, but what came behind like you actually dropping music and like professionally recording and stuff?
Honestly, it was because Wick Jones reached out to me.
Mm.
And I think when I like first started recording Get That, I was like super shy and I was still really like I wasn't even sure if that was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But when we like finished recording Get That, I remember like he made me feel like and he didn't know me, but it was like the first time I felt like a whole ass stranger like really believed in me and he like introduced me to like all these other like artists and engineers, and like everybody like was supporting me and everybody was like, "You're fire, like you're this and that." And I was just like, damn, I like Que Tal isn't such an amazing song, but for me, like I just thought it was something little. Like it wasn't even like something I fully believed in until I had everybody else being like, "No, bro, you're crazy.
You
Like
need to
this is
post
fire."
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. Okay. What would you consider your genre? Like Latin pop or
Yeah, Latin pop as of right now, but I will say I am definitely going all routes
Mm,
just because I think at first, I was like pushing myself just to be like a Latin artist, just because there's not any here in Denver. And I
okay.
will say, I think there might be a little more success in the Latin community to say because it's like where I originate from. And like,
It's kind of unique out here too.
yeah, like it's just so much more I can connect to.
Right.
But I am still like an American, like I'm
Right.
Latin American. So it's just like, I do want to make R&B music. And my first song that I really did make like was R&B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
You didn't post that one or
it's
did?
yeah, it's in the depths of SoundCloud, so we'll have to
Okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely want to like post more R&B. I want to do more pop. I would even love to get into rap, but I don't want to like push myself out to be a rap
Yeah,
girl.
rapper. Yeah.
I am definitely more a singer than I am a rapper, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, I know I got a lot of rap fans, but make sure y'all tune in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
thank you.
saying?
It means a
We're
lot. I
very
appreciate it.
diverse. Well, I mean, shit, when I posted you, a lot of people were tapping in. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah. And what I have out right now is like nothing compared to what I'm about to have out. So
okay, cool.
yeah.
How did K-Tal and Moneda come together? Sorry for my
No, no, you're actually
mispronunciation.
really good. So get that. I'm gonna be honest. I think I was on acid when I did get that.
It's fair enough. That's a good, that'll take you somewhere for sure. I
Yeah.
feel that.
That was also another reason why I feel like I kind of pursued music was
Okay.
did psychedelics and like I was like, what's my purpose? Like, what do I want to do?
That'll make you open up.
That sounds so dumb, but like, listen, y'all. Cause I was an avid, so I don't know if you know what avid is.
I mean, as far as just like consistent.
No, avid, like it's a class.
Oh, okay. I think I might have heard of it,
So
but
I was an avid, and I was like, I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna do this and that, you know.
so like a kind of smaller in a way. Is that what
Yeah, so it's like a class where like they're like trying to get you into college in terms of like really figuring out what you want to do as a career, what you want to study, and like just things to
okay.
help you be successful in college.
Jeez.
And um I did so much research on like all these other like different careers and stuff. And it's not to say that I'm like fully like driven away from like pursuing a certain career besides music, but it's just like it's not something that I'm like I'm dying to do, you know? And like for music, I really do like this shit and it just comes easy to me. And you know, like there's so much life ahead of me too that it's like that's not to say like music is where it ends. I could still pursue, you know. And I am still in college, but I'm just a part-time student, not like a full-time student. So
Okay. Um, how were your grades in high school?
they were pretty good, but I fucked up my freshman year and I like not that I like failed a single class or anything, but I like got a couple C's and like the rest were like A's and B's, but just because I got a couple C's, like my GPA stayed under a 3.9. Like I barely made it to a 3.0
Oh,
like by
okay.
my graduation year. So
That's still good though. You ended up graduating.
yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I graduated early. So
Oh, okay.
mhm,
Not everyone does that, so
yeah.
congrats on that. And then you said you're in college.
Hmm.
I don't know if I should ask where.
CCA.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Aurora.
I started at community college too. I respect that.
Yeah.
Do you plan on like going to a university and for, like a
Honest,
bachelor's or anything?
not yet because even like I'm doing only one class right now and it's really just from like my prerequisites and stuff. So it's not even like I'm fully
Part
like yeah, fully like invested into a path, if that makes sense.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you studying? Is there a specific?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing childhood like early development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like an associate of arts?
No.
You know?
No, it's just like a class, so
Okay.
yeah.
Is it like certificates you're going
Mhm.
for? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it starts off as a certificate and then you can build up from there. But yeah, you would have to
Okay.
go to a university and stuff, so
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's dope. It's good you're getting your education. I respect that. Back into the music. So I see those two visuals. How'd you end up linking with excuse me, Hallie Prince and then Lincoln Bio?
So I have a friend who does music too. His name's AC Young. And I just asked him, I was like, do you know any videographers? And he put me on to her. And this was still like the beginning of her career too.
Mm,
So she probably only had like 6 music videos out during this time.
okay.
And I hit her up and we made an agreement, you know, like she had a good price during that time for me and like the like package was good, you know. I think it was like 3 different locations and stuff. And
Right.
yeah, I don't remember too much detail honestly, but yeah, it was a good deal for me. And also like I love working with other girls, you know, because there's not too much in the community, I guess. Like there's
Right.
way more
There's a lot more guys.
males
Yeah.
than girls. So that was kind of my thing where I was just like, I want to push myself out more, like with the girls and stuff, just to get more insight about the business too. Cause I
Right. Right.
definitely
That's
see it
smart.
as like a networking opportunity.
Yeah. No, I respect that because there's a bunch of weird ass dudes in
Hmm.
the scene in general, but in the scene, so you definitely got to like guard yourself, make sure like the people you're working with, the reputation's nice. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I respect that. So you dropped the two visuals, but you have more singles out, right?
No, so those are my only 2 songs right now
Okay.
that are out.
What do you have next? What's upcoming next?
I'm gonna drop a English song next.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm planning for like hopefully I can drop within the next like 3 months at least. Like that's like my max that I want to give myself. But yeah.
Okay. Was Spanish your first language or English and then you learned Spanish or how did
I think Spanish was my first language because like my parents didn't speak English. So yeah, but
Okay.
I will say I'm way better speaking in English than I am in Spanish now.
That's real. I respect that. Um how I guess how am I trying to word this? How did you I guess do you see it as an advantage that you can do music in both languages and be able to gravitate towards more crowds, if that makes sense?
Yeah, even like for everything, like sometimes like I'll just like randomly break out into speaking in Spanish. Like I'll be telling a
Yeah.
story and then I start speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
And it's just very like that's my language, like very bilingual, you know.
Mm.
It's just like I never just stick to one language. I like mix between the both. But think I started speaking way more Spanish after working at McDonald's because I did overnights and everybody in overnight only spoke Spanish.
So
And
that was probably like a comfortable
yeah, but it
environment
like
at first.
yeah, my Spanish is broken, so it's not like fluent Spanish in my opinion. Like maybe
Fair
now it's a
enough.
lot better, but back then like it was like people would like make fun of me, like they'd be like, "You're not like
Mm.
you don't have Spanish." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, probably," you know.
It's probably better than mine. I just took high school Spanish. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's hard when especially your prime like your primary language is like English now and like everybody communicates in English. But yeah,
Right.
the only times I really spoke Spanish before was with my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are like the pros and cons of being, um, I guess, of Latin descent in America?
Wait, what?
Sorry. What what are the pros and cons of being of Latin descent in America? Like, you obviously your parents from Mexico, they came over here. You talked about how hard they had to work. Now you're here. What are like the pros and cons you've had to deal with?
Um, I think for me, a lot of people don't even know I'm Mexican. I think people just assume I'm white. Like
Mm,
at most, if anyone thinks I'm like a different race, it's because of my hair.
mm,
But like besides that, I've always like people usually think I'm white. So I've never really got to experience like indifferences and stuff like that and that fact. But
okay.
when I go to Mexico, I will say like I mean, like people, especially because my parents are from like a really small town, and like people look at me like I'm exotic. Honestly, like they're
Yeah.
like, "You're not from here. You're like very American," you know. Because I remember
Right.
like one day, I was hanging out with like my cousin's friends over there, and they were like, "Oh, let's go get tortas," and it's a sandwich, pretty much.
Okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, like let's get tortas," and they're like, "Oh," and they started like describing what a torta was, and I was like, "I know what a torta is." Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I think I always catch people off guard when I do know Spanish and as much Spanish as I know. And like my parents are still very like Mexican. Like, I think a lot of parents, like when they move over here, they kind of like transition into like the American lifestyle and like they
Mm,
speak more English at home. But that was like never the case with me. Like my parents still like only speak Spanish. And like, yeah, they know English to say, but not to the
right.
extent that like I've noticed like my friends' parents do, if that makes sense, like, and they're just very still stuck on like, um, I guess like hmm, the ways of like their town, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they have,
Their roots.
yeah, their roots. So like their way of thinking is like really different than like how we think here, or like how customs are here.
Right.
Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna drink some water.
Yeah, you're good. Good time to shout the sponsor today's video, 3 in Water. Go get that hydration for the go-getters. Mine's empty. Y'all got me straight. Um, Intact 3 in Water in your story. Perfect time for an H2O.
Yeah, this water is good.
Yeah, no, it's from the mountains. How do you feel about the Colorado scene
I'm
as far
actually
as music scene?
really new to it.
Okay.
So I think when I went to Wolf Wednesdays, like that was like my first time actually being able to meet other artists.
Mm,
Because the only other artists I really knew were like the people I went to high school with, or like whoever like Wick Jones connected me to,
Yeah.
but that was like a very small batch compared to now. Like I know way more, but I
You
think
just met one of the legends. AP is one of the
yeah, I've
one
definitely
of the
seen AP's name around, and I
yeah.
think he actually works with one of my high school friends.
Okay.
Yeah, Lars, LA.
I
I don't
probably
know if he goes by Lars or LAK, but
yeah.
he's like connected to like Keenan,
Oh
Trayvon,
yeah,
and
I've
like
heard of Keenan.
AC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
AC Young. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're just kind of new to the scene. Is there anyone like you want to work with out here, or even dream collabs? Okay, I just remember my question I'm asking next.
Okay, okay.
My bad.
Ooh, dream collabs or any collabs. Honestly, I feel like I don't have any dream collabs yet because I'm still exploring my sound. And I think my biggest thing, which may come off as cocky, but my biggest thing is like
Pop your shit.
I never like want to work with someone that doesn't make me feel like they want to work with me,
Hmm,
if that makes sense. Like I want to work with someone just as bad as they want to work with me,
that's
you
real.
know?
Right.
So I have yet to kind of meet that, you know?
Yeah.
But
You'll definitely meet.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, right now I don't have any dream collabs as of right now.
Okay. Who like inspired you growing up? Who were you listening to, or even now, who do you listen to in the industry?
Growing up, I was a really big like Melanie Martinez fan, just because like her sound was so different. She was very theatrical, like if you've ever seen her. But I love even Lady Gaga
That's a good one.
and yeah, just very crazy abnormal shit, you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like now I can like vibe to anything, but you know, growing up, I was like really into weird shit. Like I was into stuff like you didn't see normally, you know?
What were like your hobbies and stuff like that? Did you play sports or anything?
I was in soccer for a little bit, but I was not good at soccer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wasn't really athletic. And also because like I didn't have like the support behind me to really pursue like
They
anything.
weren't really into sports and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I took like I was in like swimming classes and
Oh,
there's
okay.
like levels to swimming, but yeah, that was about it.
Okay. I mean, okay, say like you get signed,
Mhm.
record label, millions of dollars. Would you stay in Colorado or would you leave?
I feel like I would have to leave
Mm,
because Colorado's music scene isn't as big as it is like in other places,
right,
like New York, LA, Atlanta, you know. But I also feel like if I moved, it would have to make sense and it would have to be worth it, you know?
right,
Because the thing is, like right now, I feel like a lot of like small artists, like they move to LA and it's just like, yeah, they're like making these connections and stuff, but what else is going on from there? You know what
right,
I mean? Like, I feel like you really have to know people in order to like make it work in order to really get yourself out there. Because really, like, I feel like for example, Wolf Wednesdays, right?
mm,
It's like if there's like events like that, you could just take trips over there to make these events and like get your
right,
name out there. But like, unless you had like consistent work out there, I just don't feel like it's worth it.
right.
Yeah.
How did you end up on the Wolf Wednesday showcase
So
and winning, by the way?
yeah, so Wick Jones actually was like putting me on
Right.
and I didn't go for a couple years because I wasn't old enough yet. And then I just like one day I was like, I need to go perform. Like, I don't know, like what it was in me, but I was like, I need to go perform. And I think I was just having like such a shitty day this day. And
Mm,
I was like, I don't even give a fuck. Like usually like I'm shy and like, you know,
right,
but I was like, I don't care because all my friends were like busy that night because it's on a Wednesday. So like my friends had like or like work in the morning and stuff. And I was just like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like I need to go. I need to get my mind off of like whatever I was going through, you know?
right,
And I went and yeah, it was like such an experience because I just felt so much love and I really got to do what I do best, you know? So, yeah, that night was pretty good and I actually won that night. And it wasn't a showcase, it was just like an open mic. And then
mm,
I won my interview with Vic.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, from there I went a second time. And the second time, it wasn't as good as the first time because like one, I think I felt a little more shy and like it was like later on in the night. But the biggest thing I will say was like everybody, like a majority was just like it was just rappers. And
It was a lot of rap.
it was a lot of rappers, yeah.
Yeah.
And like yeah, I
You definitely stood out. Like your music was
uh-huh. And
different.
I think that was like my biggest thing too. I was just like, well, like I don't want to sing slow songs when everybody's like fast paced, you know? Like
Right.
because the thing is like I understood I was gonna stand out, but I wanted to stand out where I still had their attention, not where it was just kind of like cafe vibes, where like someone's singing
Yeah,
and like people are like chit
yeah,
chatting, like I wanted to be
elevating.
intriguing as well.
Yeah,
So I decided to perform like two of like my faster songs to say. And this second time I didn't do as good because when it was like really late in the night, I was like probably one of the last performers that was performing. There wasn't that much attention. Like I was really ignored that night. So it wasn't as great of a night, but I still got appreciation and I still got to do what I wanted to do.
right.
And it is very humbling to say to like kind of have experiences like that because not everybody's going to care. And when you're performing, not everybody's going to be interested. And that was also another thing for me that I wanted to like get comfortable with was like not having people supporting me, being okay
Right.
with me being my biggest fan and me being able to still give my best even when I feel like I'm not getting the attention I would want.
That's respect.
Yeah.
Okay. Were those the first two times you've performed or?
No, so technically like I've done karaoke nights and stuff at like
Okay.
El Rey and like just different like restaurants.
Yeah.
But my first open mic was at a place called Los Raíces.
Okay.
And that was also sucked. I was so nervous.
That's how you learn though. You
Yeah,
do those
yeah, I was
areas.
super nervous and yeah, it was a very like dry crowd. Like everybody
Mm.
was like very quiet. There wasn't, like there wasn't the love that you get at Wolf Wednesdays, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was turned up there.
Yeah. But yeah, during my showcase for Wolf Wednesdays, I definitely felt a lot of love. Especially like you weren't there during the beginning of it, but my mic like completely fucked up. And in the moment, like I didn't really notice it because I was in the zone and I was enjoying myself. But yeah, like I had so many people come up to me and they were like, "You're so good, but that mic fucked you up."
Yeah.
They're like, "You're so good, but that mic did you dirty." And I was like, "Oh,
Shout out Jazzy for throwing that.
yeah, shout
It
out
was
Jazzy."
it was that was it's just dope to see like a bunch of people come together and it was actually packed. I was not gonna lie, when she invited me to be a judge, I was a little surprised at first about like, okay, this is gonna be popping and not, and I was like, okay, like this is dope. I
Yeah.
could barely even like walk through it. So
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, same thing, like my first time going, I was not expecting that many
yeah,
people. Like I really wasn't, and I wasn't expecting much. Like I said, like I was really just going out there to like make myself feel better. Like not even like thinking I was getting anything out of it. Like no, I just really went for my own cause. And like when I was there, I saw so many people and I was like, I need to get
yeah,
drunk.
yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
need to get drunk because this is a lot more people than I thought.
Right, right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's definitely popping. So if you're an upcoming artist, I recommend going to Wolf Wednesdays.
Okay.
Like no matter where you're at, like in your career, like I definitely recommend it. So
Yeah. So I know you said you have some unreleased music, right?
mhm,
And some of it is English too.
mhm.
Do you like have a plan for like a project or any upcoming shows or anything else you want to speak on?
Yeah, so I have two upcoming shows. One for sure on February 10th,
Okay.
and I think I have another one on February 8th. February 18th or February 23rd. I'll
Okay.
keep you guys updated if you guys want to follow me on Instagram. That's honestly where I make most of my announcements. I'm the most active on Instagram. So yeah, it's Estephani dot underscore.
Okay, perfect. Make sure y'all go follow Stephanie on everything. Instagram. Do you have a Twitter or
Yeah, I
YouTube
have
or anything?
Twitter and stuff,
Okay.
but yeah, it's not popping.
And we're gonna get it there. You know, you're building up. Yeah, go subscribe to the YouTube channel, go watch the videos. Make sure y'all hit that like button, comment down below who you want to see next on the Mile High Minute. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button to stay notified when all the latest news drops. Do you have any I guess we'll end it out like this. What are your goals with the music? Like where do you see yourself in the next year to 5 years and you know what I'm saying?
In the
What's
next
next?
I hope to have a show every month and I hope to be releasing a lot more and I hope to be in a lot like even like this year. I hope to be way more consistent. I hope to be releasing way more and I hope I have like a better plan of how I'm gonna like put myself out there more.
Yeah.
So
Okay, cool.
yeah, and then in the next 5 years, hopefully we're selling out arenas.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
I respect the confidence. That's how you know, you gotta carry yourself and think. So I
Mm.
respect that. Can I get a shout out for Mile High Minute one time?
Yes, shout out Mile High Minute. Go follow him on everything because literally he's active on everything, so you're never missing out on anything.
I appreciate that. Make sure y'all go follow Stephanie on everything. Like I just said, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all that links be in the description. Make sure y'all, man, shout out the sponsor to today's video again, 3M Water. Go get that hydration for the go getter. Shout out Dream Space Studios. If you need a song recorded, engineered, and you go to any other studio besides Dream Space, you're missing out. You got to go tap in with Dream Space. They're going to get your music
Yeah,
right.
he's fire. So, well, they're fire
Yeah,
because I know it's a duo,
go
but
fuck with my boy Jack. Go fuck with my boy Chi. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Chi. Is that cool? Go Chi. All right. All right. Make sure y'all tap in. That's all I gotta say. Mile High Minute, #1 podcast in the universe. We out. Appreciate you.